Hello, students. This is Susan. She is a doctor. To lead a healthy life, she gives the following 4 advices. Avoid eating junk food. Drink lots of water daily. Get a medical checkup done every 6 months. Exercise regularly. Did you notice the highlighted words? These words, avoid, drink, get, and exercise, direct you to do something. Such words that describe an action are called verbs. Verbs. Verbs are the words that tell us what is done by a person or a thing, what a person or a thing is, what is done to a person or a thing. For example, the action done by a person or a thing, we are exercising. Here the action of exercising is done by we. For example, what a person or a thing is. I am tired. Here the person is feeling tired. For example, what is done to a person or a thing? He is being penalized. Types of verbs. Verbs can be divided into 5 types. Regular verbs, irregular verbs, transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, auxiliary verbs. Let's see what are regular verbs with an example. Regular verbs always end in ed in past tense or past participle endings. For example, I exercise in the morning. Here the verb exercise changes to exercised in the past tense. I exercised in the morning yesterday. Let's now see irregular verbs with examples. Irregular verbs end in many different ways. Here is how they change. Sometimes the verb changes completely. For example, the verb mistake changes to mistook and mistaken in past tense and past participle respectively. Sometimes there is half a change. For example, the verb buy changes to bought in past tense and past participle. Sometimes there is no change. For example, cut remains as cut in past tense and past participle. Given to you here is a list of some of the commonly used irregular words. Irregular verbs. Present, past, past participle. Abide, abode, abode. Bear, bore, born. Bite, bit, bitten. Break, broke, broken. Choose, chose, chosen. Come, came, come. Do, did, done. Draw, drew, drawn. Eat, ate, eaten. Fall, fell, fallen. The given words circle out the regular verbs. Continue, walk, soak, make, laugh, may, talk, shock, go, break, do. The words that are regular verb are continue, walk, soak, laugh, talk, shock. To you here are some irregular verbs. Complete the table with their past and past participle forms. To you here are some irregular verbs. Complete the table with their past and past participle forms. The answer is awake, awoke, awoken. Eat, ate, eaten. Forget, forgot, forgotten. Know, knew, known. Spring, sprang, sprung. Let's now see transitive verbs with examples. Transitive verbs are those wherein the action passes over from the subject to an object. For example, I drink milk every day. Here the action of drinking passes over from subject I to object milk. Over from the subject to an object. These verbs do not have direct object. For example, he swims. Here the action of swimming does not pass over from subject he as there is no object. Let's check what we have learned till now. Look at the sentences and tell in which sentence the verb is being used transitively. She jogged slowly. She eats fruits and vegetables. Correct. The word eats is a transitive verb. Here, the word eats is followed by the object fruits and vegetables. Correct. For the verb to be transitive, the rule is it has to be followed by an object. Here the verb jogged is followed by an adverb slowly. Thus, the verb jogged is intransitive. Look at the sentences and tell in which sentence verb is used intransitively. We should drink lots of water daily. He sleeps soundly. Incorrect. For the verb to be intransitive, it should not be followed by any object. Here the action of drinking is passed on to the object, water. Thus the verb drinking is transitive verb. Correct. Here the word sleep is not followed by any object. Rather, it has an adverb soundly with it. Thus the word sleep is intransitive verb. Look at the sentences and tell if the verb feel is used as transitive or intransitive. How do you feel? Is the verb feel transitive or intransitive? Correct. The verb feel is intransitive, as it is not followed by any object. Incorrect. Here the verb is feel, and for the verb to be transitive, it should be followed by an object. Thus the verb feel is intransitive. Transitive or intransitive? She was reading a story. Correct. The verb reading here is being used transitively as the sentence contains an object, a story. Thus the verb reading is transitive. Correct. Here as the action of reading is passed on from the subject she to the object, a story. The verb reading is used transitively. Do you know, some intransitive verbs, when used in a sentence, do not make complete sense. They require some words or group of words in order to complete the sentence. Such words are called as complements. Complement are the words which complete the predicate. For example, Rose smells sweet. He is a good teacher. Here the words sweet and teacher are complements as they complete the sentence. Auxiliary verbs are also known as helping or modifying verbs. With the help of auxiliary verbs, we can write sentences in different tenses, moods, or voices. Uses of auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs help to clarify whether or not an action occurs when the action of the main verb takes place. who or what is responsible for that action, and whether we are making a statement or asking a question. Auxiliary verbs. The commonly used auxiliary verbs are as follows: is, are, was, were, am, be, been, will, shall, have, has, do, had, would, could, should, does, did, can, may, might, must, and seem. He was watching TV when the guests arrived. They will be coming to the party in the evening. The train has arrived in the station. Did you have a nice holiday? I am meeting my friends tomorrow. Can you lend me your book? They are eating their dinner. Did you know? There are some auxiliary verbs that do not have all the three forms: present, past, past participle. These are called defective verbs. Defective verbs. Choose the correct auxiliary verb in the following sentences. Answers. Recap. Verbs are the words that tells us the action done by a person or a thing, what a person or a thing is, what is done to a person or a thing. Recap. Verbs are of the following types: regular verbs, irregular verbs, transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, auxiliary verbs. Thank you. A presentation by Extra Marks.